What is up, ladies and gents, Noli here, and welcome to a Raid World War II news video. Today we're going to be analysing all we know so far about the content of Payday 2's spiritual successor, hopefully helping those of you watching this to be as excited as I am for the game's September 28th launch on Steam. Information I share in this video is based on developer statements from Lion Game Lion, Starbreeze, and gameplay shown on the Lion Game Lion Twitch channel. Links to all of these sources can be found in the description down below. Let's have a look at what we know Raid World War II has on offer. Starting things off with Raid's engine. Raid will follow in Payday's footsteps and utilise the much maligned diesel engine, criticised by Payday fans primarily for its old age. While this may lead to some straying away from the game, in fact my own comments section is full of people unimpressed by the game's look and apparent feel, it should lead to a smoother release, reliable performance, and a familiar feel to the game for many of those who have played Payday 2. The focus is, from what the developers have said, on gameplay over aesthetic and substance over style.
Built on the same technology that Payday 2 is built on, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, with the Payday community, right, they have a lot to say about the diesel engine and so forth, right? But why did you guys decide on using diesel to make this game?
We started out, making the DLC stuff for Payday, and it just felt like, we know the tech, I knew the tech, and, the
Because you've been working with diesel for the past 10
diesel
years,
is
right?
At the centre of the Payday series is a core group of 4 characters. Raid follows suit with its own set of unique characters from different corners of World War II. An American, Rivet, a German, Wolfgang, a Russian, Kurgan, and finally a Brit named Sterling. They each bring their own personality, background, and opinions on the war they are fighting. Crucially, in Raid, it is these characters that motivate the progression of objectives due to the omission of an overlord character such as the Bane we see in Payday 2. As such, their banter exists to drive the raid, and they will feel more like a living and breathing team than how the gang felt in Payday 2. Any character can play any class, but certain classes will struggle to use certain weapon types, or so we were told. I expect the feel will be almost identical in terms of skills and progression to Payday 2. I will go into more detail though in the future as far as classes are concerned, once Lion Game Lion have given us more to go on. All I can impart at this point is that the classes are Recon, Assault, Insurgent, and Demolitions, and they will likely have roots in the initial 4 Payday 2 classes. Finally, British actor John Cleese will feature as Control and will likely give mission briefs as well as being part of promotional material for the game. I for one am massively excited for his addition due to being a massive Monty Python fan, but Payday players will recognise him as your favourite safe house butler.
Now, having read your files, I don't expect fellows like you to do this purely out of a sense of duty. So if a little Nazi gold happens to go missing, no questions will be asked. History won't remember you, but your deeds will define it. Good luck.
Rounding off the first part in the Raid World War II news video series, we're going to be taking a look at what the core gameplay is actually going to consist of. However, stay tuned later on in the week. We will be looking at the actual intricacies of core gameplay mechanics, as well as some extra details moving towards the launch of the game and the prospective beta. So, the heists in Raid are, of course, known as raids and can be started from your camp. This is Raid's version of a safe house, though it seems to function as much more, and do expect it to be an awful lot more like the eventual safe house we got in Payday 2 with a complimentary butler. The camp also functions as a gameplay style menu, letting you customize while remaining in a multiplayer lobby, or so it appeared, which is extremely exciting, as well as choose from challenge cards and operations modes functioning like rewarding mutators from Payday 2. Now, we don't know an awful lot about these, what the exact details are going to be, but it does seem to be something more about increasing the replayability of the game. In fact, you can find further details of what these challenge cards actually consist of in Master Indigo's video, which I'm going to link here. Standard raids can be taken, however, on 4 different difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and very hard, with the promise that very hard should still provide a massive challenge even to veteran Payday players, which is fairly reassuring because though there do not appear to be as many varied difficulty options, the Lion Game Lion team were pretty certain that they'd made things fairly difficult. This comes from a difficulty system that hopefully doesn't just turn enemies into bullet sponges and send more of them at you, but instead is planned to add new objectives, interactions, and increase the difficulty of existing objectives, which, if pulled off properly, is going to be excellent. It's going to make it worth playing each of these heists on every single difficulty. However, I do have a bit of a fear that this is a little bit of embellishment on the developer's part, because, for example, in Payday 2, when it comes to completing a mission, depending on the difficulty, it tends to be the number of, gold you have to steal, for example. On one difficulty, you may only have to steal 3, on another, you may have to steal 6 or 8 or something like that, and they could say that is, scaling natural difficulty increase. Really, that's not sufficient, and I'd like to see it be a little bit more organic than that. We'll have to wait and see exactly how it works. We've only really seen easy and normal difficulties thus far. So far we know of 3 missions, however only 2 of them have actually been viewed in detail and are intended to be shown. The first of the 2 is Odin's Fall. This was actually some of the first gameplay I believe we ever saw of Raid World War II, though it has changed a fair bit since the initial looks. It was a loud and stealthable heist, and is still. It consists of breaching and climbing an AA gun tower and cinematically taking a Zeppelin out of the sky. In fact, it's a lot more cinematic than anything I personally had seen in Payday 2 before. I was really impressed by the look of this heist, by the thematic objectives in this World War II game. The Zeppelin is pretty well themed and put together, and I was really impressed. I feel like this will be an iconic heist or raid once the game is actually fully launched. And this is the one I'm most excited to get out there and play. The second is Trainwreck, which is in and of itself fairly self-explanatory. All you have to do is dynamite a train line bridge to derail a train carrying Nazi gold. Then, of course, take the gold for yourselves, escaping along the river. Short, simple heist, not a lot to it really in terms of complexity, very Payday 2 in feel. It's allowed only, looked like a ton of fun, and I definitely think this will feature in some sort of demo coming in the not too distant future. What I also liked about this was it was clearly not a sort of patriotic fanfare as we see in a lot of World War II first-person shooters. Instead, it functions on the idea that setting the Allies' thieves on the Nazis is a win-win situation, the enemy of my enemy and all that. We've not been given the full details, however, of the number of raids that Raid will have at launch, though it has been said that it took about 13 to 15 hours during the first playthrough of content to actually complete everything raid-wise, and that's only on a single difficulty. And we've also got these promises of great Payday-style replayability, which is really good news. So I don't think 13 to 15 hours should be an alarming figure. That actually sounds like more content than Payday 2 actually had on launch, start to finish, just playing through raid after raid after raid. And they said that was even on easy and normal difficulties, so expect another extra couple of hours if you're cranking up the difficulty. And of course that is probably with fairly high success rates on those lower difficulties, so again, add on a couple of hours for potential failure, exploration, and other such things. So there we go, that is the first in this series of news videos on Raid. The series is going to be following along with basically the news we received from Lion Game Lion. They are drip feeding us right now. There is a lot more stuff they have yet to show properly. Customization, skills, RPG elements, what all that has. Weapons as well, that's a really important one. We know a couple of weapons in the game, but I will go into further detail on that. But yeah, what all that has as the game comes together and we move towards a date for a potential beta that has been virtually confirmed. And I hope you guys are going to stick with me, and I hope I, in some way or another, drum up some interest for what I think is a really exciting game for fans of Payday 2. Thanks for watching this video, ladies and gents, and I will see you all in the next one.